Ronna tried to put on a good face at the largest GOP fundraising event in Illinois in a decade. 750 people attended the event at the Westin O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont. The event co-chair summarized Ronna's remarks this way: that she said Republicans have to stop fighting with each other, and that if you see a Republican you disagree with, give them a hug and move on, because we can't win unless we get along. Now, it would be a nice sentiment at any other time except for right now, because right now the elephant in the room is why Ronna is being pushed out and why she wants everyone to just hug her and forget the events leading up to this moment. That's where my first guest tonight comes into play. She's done more work than perhaps anyone else, oftentimes being the very first to break stories that powerful players would rather keep hidden, which expose just how corrupt the RNC edifice has become and how that is leading us to lose elections in places where we shouldn't be. So joining us now to discuss is none other than Jennifer Van Laar, the managing editor of Red State. Jennifer, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm just so excited that Ronna wants to hug things out now, because that is not what her spokespeople were doing with me last week.
See, and that's what I wanted to also ask you about, because you've done so much to expose all the money going this way and that way, no real strategy for winning elections, which is their job. Talk to us, as you were mentioning a moment ago, what kind of pushback and nastiness you've been receiving?
Completely nasty emails back and forth between two of her spokespeople, and one of whom then went to Twitter to quote one of my tweets about the issue, where I had brought receipts, meaning actual FEC documents, to show where this money was going, and quote tweeted that to basically tell me that I am a terrible person and I have a sad life if this is how I'm spending it. Within their emails to me, they were accusing me of taking someone else's research, basically getting paid to do some opposition hit on Ronna, and said I was sloppy and lazy in my work, and all of my conclusions were wrong. After I listened to them for a little bit and took some specific things they wanted me to look into and verified that they were just sending me on a wild goose chase, and then decided to tell them, no, I'm going with my story, sorry, they became very nasty and started contacting my bosses in our corporate office.
You know, it's so sad that this is what it's come to, right? Like you were joking earlier with Ronna saying, let's all just hug it out and let's all be friends and move on. And like you were saying, it's not the treatment that you were getting behind closed doors for bringing what needs to be brought to light. And so as we were discussing with the lavish spending, going to Broadway, I think, right? Some of those musicals and all the rest, going back several years. Can you lay out for our audience and help to catch them up to speed what exactly you've been uncovering over these past few years that made Ronna's camp very unhappy?
Right. So just before her reelection in 2023, we broke a story where they had spent over $17 million on donor mementos. I think over $1 million on private jets. $750,000 on floral expenses, a bunch of tens of thousands of dollars at high-end retailers like Pottery Barn, West Elm, getting Lululemon pants billed to the RNC. So she nearly lost her chairmanship over that issue. So when they over the 2023 timeframe, they could not raise money, partly because donors had lost confidence. So in November of 2023, I decided to say, hey, have they been spending the money in dumb ways again? You know, for sure that they learned their lesson. I was expecting that I wasn't going to find bad uses of money, but it was all the same kinds of things. It was limos, floral arrangements, spending 4 times what the average is for office supplies per employee. So that included a bunch of Instacart being sent to the office, and just wasting money left and right, while Democrats at the same time were putting money towards their data infrastructure, get out the vote, and voter file maintenance, which are things that actually win elections.
You know, and that's really the unfortunate part, too, is that Democrats, I mean, there's a lot you can say about the left, right? But they are organized. They are a well-oiled machine, and they've got good ground game. And that's something we have been floundering on for so many years. And this is why it's so important for us to be getting our heads in the game and for you to be reporting on this instead of all of us pretending that, no, let's all hold hands and keep losing elections together and put on a good smile. Because, I mean, the RNC, these people are taking us for a ride at this point, and that's not fair to anyone, especially those who are giving money.